Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Half the Race Gone for the monthly GTPlanet 1.5 hour Group 4 race. This month, April's race was held last night on the Nürgburgring GP layout, and for once it means that we're going back to the old school way of showing races where we have been taking part ourselves. That of course also means that I, DirtenDK, will be in car racing in the BMW M4, and it's of course a series that we here on the channel have been participating in for some time, and it is always quite good fun. Running with a series organized by some lovely Americans, which means that for our sake, us Europeans are running quite late with the race start, 2 o'clock in the middle of the night, which is of course always a good excuse to have in your hand when you crash the car. So good evening to everyone who's joined us already early days here with the good old gathering period and everything. Good evening, Martin and CJ going at it in chat. Don't fight yourselves, or don't fight too hard amongst one another. What's... Okay, So now it plays that sequence. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I wasn't really I haven't seen the replay yet, so I wasn't really expecting that at all. We are of course gonna go on a grid walk, and starting at pole position it is our Swedish friend Standard FV, who was a full second faster than basically everyone else, and kudos to a great qualifying lap, put it on pole, and great livery as well for that Hyundai Genesis Group 4 car that I enjoyed. Early days in the car, has a nice top speed, but isn't too badly balanced as well. A very sweet looking car, dare I say, the Nutella livery, the Audi TT of Mick Anthony second on the grid, with me third in the Faxe Kondi, as it's called, Danish soda a manufacturer, I was about to say, Danish maker of soda. It's a damn good soda indeed. It's Faxe Kondi. It's of course also with a bit of sponsorship for the channel here. I'm third. In fourth position, it's Hirnsauger in the Mitsubishi Lancer Group 4 car. Of course, the four-wheel drive cars do well on a track that's twisty like the GP layout here is, and where grip is also at a premium. It's Bloody Boy Blue, the Canadian, in fifth in the Lexus RCF Group 4 car. Then it's Gentleman Racing in the Alfa Romeo 4C, a car that I think we can expect much of, at least in terms of race pace. Known to have the best tire and fuel wear in the class, more or less, with... maybe a couple of excuses, but very strong on its pace here on technical circuits as well. Then there is the Corvette, run by... Is that a fast one? The Corvette? Did you put your name on it? No. Guys, put your names on your livery, because when I'm only racing you guys once a month, I don't always remember who's who. In the Citroen GT, that's a good question too, but a funky livery indeed. Of course, my excuses for being as poorly prepared as ever for one of these broadcasts, but yeah. And then in the Aston Group 4, it is fast one, yeah, of course. In the also just slightly color changey, but still kind of silver. Actually a really nice livery, dare I say, as well, for the Fast Lap racing team in the Aston Martin Group 4 car. Then at the back of affairs, having qualified fourth, actually, I think, Rinsky choosing to start at the back for the fun of it, I think. And I just want to say that is a superb livery for the Cayman. Damn, that looks fine. I like it. Kudos to Rinsky on that livery as well. And it is Infineon, I think, choosing to do the same thing in that Rothman's liveried McGann trophy. And with that, of course, I need to give a big shout out to Charlie Roscoe for being the one who at least inspired me to do this kind of grid walk. I feel like I have to mention it every time I do it because I don't want to. I don't want to be caught doing any plagiarization of anyone else's work. Anyways, with that said, I think we're all set for the start of the race. Let's just get all the... I'm not too handy on the fingers these days, am I? That is better with the race info and everything ready. Let's get the race going. Of course, no warm-up lap here, no formation lap. It is standing start. And when the lights go green, it is indeed green for the cars. Watch the red lights. And the green, it's go, go, go. Great start for stand-up FV, though Mick Anthony in the TT gets a terrible start. It seems he doesn't really get off the line at all. That leaves me second, Bloody Boy Blue up the outside, and Hirnsog on the inside. 3 wide turn through turn 1. Oh, very close indeed. Gentleman Racing moving up the order. Let's go on board with the American. I was about to say the American, but there are, of course, a number of Americans on this series racing. Standard FV just getting brilliantly away, then Bloody Boy Blue in second position in that Lexus, also getting away very nicely. Remember, he started down in 5th position on the row behind me, keeping my 3rd position. Then it's Hirtsauger 4th, Mick Anthony down in 5th. Gentleman Racing, as mentioned before, he's 6th position. Cold Warrior 7th, then I'm Too Fast For You, the Canadian, in 8th. It's Infineon up in 9th, Fast One 10th, and Rinsky 11th. And it's, of course, Too Fast For You in the very funky liveried Citroen GT. Or the GT by Citroen, as I think it's rightfully called. Here we have a move up the inside from the Aston Martin. And that's a fast one moving up into 9th position. Standard FV still just running along. He's flying away at the moment, of course. Polyphony not letting us see the deltas on replay file, but that is a healthy gap at the end of lap 1 here for the Swede. But as mentioned before, he was a whole second faster than the rest of the field, basically. Aston Martin, I'm not gonna say anything else than Aston Martin ever Martin. Oh, there's Bloody Boy Blue getting a little bit wide. And I think it's me, myself, and I. DirtenDK getting the run on him down towards turn 1. Is it gonna be the Daniel Ricciardo launch? It is. Or isn't it? Wasn't really. So, and Mick Anthony now having moved up into 4th position in the sweet-ass tele-liveried car. Hirnsauger 5th, Gentleman Racing 6th, Cold Warrior 7th, and I'm Too Fast For You in 8th position. So still a close battle here for second. Let's see further down the orders. Gentleman Racing is very close to the Lancer of Hirnsauger. Is he gonna throw one up the inside? No, but he's gonna search his way around the bumper of that Mitsubishi. I was just about to say he's on a fastest lap. Everybody will, of course, be on fastest lap here on lap 2. It's a fast one in the Aston. He's made his way through on Too Fast For You. Rinsky in turn also having made his way through Infineon. And is he gonna make a move on the Citroen? No, he's still too far down the order. Bloody Boy Blue with a little bit of an advantage. And in turn, it's the TT getting close. And it's Gentleman Racing making a move for 5th position on Hinsager. And I think he makes it stick. He very well does into the final chicane. Of course, this being a replay broadcast, we can't give you those live replays from the race unless they've made them to work. No, they haven't. And it's never been a thing. I just can't see why they. Well, of course, it wouldn't be a little strange. But anyway, it would be nice to be able to trigger the replays in the same way you do with a live race. Where is Traus? Traus is, well, he wasn't racing. I guess he was busy being immersed in the world of Assetto Corsa. Or actually, I think he was playing CSGO yesterday with some of his old friends and was having a good bit of fun with that. Where he is tonight, he's getting settled in his new apartment, I think. Well, new apartment sounds like he just bought an apartment, but he just moved into a new place, which is quite an improvement from the old one. Half the match gone. I don't know. We're watching the Cold Warriors. It is, of course, the Cold Warriors in the Corvette in 8th position. With a little bit of space both in front and behind. We're gonna jump up in front. Let's check out Bloody Boy Blue, still looking poised, looking fast in the Lexus. And now we're on board with the TT, the Titty, the Audi Titty. Have the clip gone, of course, Martin. Getting a good exit from the final chicane and then into the final corner as I miss the apex. And I managed to keep it on track and get an okay run down the start-finish straight. So still close in the battle here for 2nd position and a little bit of a gap down to Gentleman Racing, who in turn has disposed, it seems, of Hirnsauger. He's put in that gap in only a lap and a half, I think. It's a good job on Gentleman Racing, nonetheless. Actually, just a single lap's time. And then there's what's that? Around 5-6 seconds down to Fast One, Cold Warriors, Rinsky, Infineon, and the rest of the bunch from 7th and onwards down. Well, here's Saga trying to fight back. And Bloody Boy Blue. And myself and Mick Anthony. Ooh, the TT seems to go a little wide, but manages to keep it under control. A car with a lot of straight line speed, a lot of grunt, but of course at times struggles with its front wheel drive and the wear that it brings to the front tires. Of course, a good evening and a warm welcome to everyone who's joining us here just after the race start. We are on lap 4, which means oh, as I get it completely wrong on the exit of well, it's on the way down to the kink in the final sector. I think I'd pick up a bit of damage from such an incident. I'm quite sure I did. Oh yeah, I did. Rear suspension, rear aero. So that's a big that's a big nudge to my chances for a top position this race. Doing a CJ, getting the rear tire just too wide on corner exit, and that's just losing it. And thanks, Martin. So that's me down in 6th. That's of course Mick Anthony inheriting 3rd position. He's now right behind Bloody Boy Blue having done a good job of also catching up to the Lexus in front there. Gentleman Racing now also, of course, moving up into 4th position. It's Hirnsauger 5th with myself in 6th position at the moment. It's Fast One in 7th. It's Cold Warriors 8th. And then I'm Too Fast For You in 9th. Rinsky in 10th position at the moment. Let's have a look at that lovely Porsche of Rinsky. He's really all over the bumper of I'm Too Fast For You at the moment. I think this just might be the run here for Rinsky. Although he is on the outside. Let's go on board with the series organizer here. Oh, I think this time around it must be the 9th place one for Rinsky here. Certainly does look that way. And he's through. Not without a fight from the Canadian there. I'm Too Fast For You. Too much body oil. Yeah. Shouldn't have rubbed myself in that stuff before the race. So, standard FV, look at that gap. He's just been jumping away. Consistent 204s over all of the opening laps here. Strong display so far from the Swede. It's been on another level. Seems the Hyundai is working perfectly for him here at the Nürburgring. Bloody Boy Blue, accompanied still by Mick Anthony, very close in behind. Gentleman Racing and Hirnsauger in turn also close now. So what I said, of course, turned out to be a little bit wrong, as Gentleman Racing still has the company of the Lancer right in behind in that battle for 4th position. And then you can see myself in the BMW down in 6th, but will be suffering from that, I guess mostly from the suspension damage. And Ethan, in other words, you've got no choice, might as well just embrace it. And embrace the little gay we all have in us. And Evening as well, it's nice to see you. I hope, by the way, that everyone has had a good weekend. I hope you've been enjoying your time off, if you've been lucky enough to actually have time off in the weekend. It's like the world is changing these days. More and more things are becoming 24/7, 365, and there goes the free time of the average Joe, I guess. And I, for one, certainly do enjoy having my spare time, as we're on board with the Hirnsauger still close to Gentleman Racing. It seems closely matched on pace. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep it up. Oh, is that the 18-hour later curse of the commentator as we go on board and we just overcooks it? On his way down to that fast back straight with the kink. No kink shaming, of course. Yeah, I've made it my specialty going around from a TV cam look. I'm still, now I should be even faster. Well, look at that, that's Fast One in the Aston Martin. Yeah, it's the Aston Martin. He's catching up. Slowly but surely, it seems. In 7th position, he's done well actually to close up the gap to some of the drivers in front. Seems to opt for a much narrower line through turn 1. Not sure it's the best way to go. Ooh, just gets a little wide on corner entrance there. Do you want me to say it, Martin? With the smoke and the pancake. An evening, Hunty as well. Nice to see you. You're following the battle between Fast One and myself. The battle for 6th position. Of course, that took place yesterday night. We had race start at 2 o'clock this night, so it wouldn't even make sense, I guess, to broadcast it alone, for the reason that I have a girlfriend I live with and a little dog as well, and neighbors that would, neither of those parts would probably be happy to have me screaming about the middle of the night. We get complaints like we were having a big party indeed. Up in front, it's still standard FV, who seems to just be running away with it at the moment. He's really just extending his gap. Ethan Stella is doing better. She's actually doing much better. We've been I think we're quite certain what's been wrong with her, and she's getting the right and proper medication, and she's all rid of the fever, and she's all back to her normal shenanigan behavior. She's actually right beside me here on the couch. Now here in third position, Mick Anthony seems to have lost a little time in the battle between himself and Bloody Boy Blue. So that is certainly... that's a couple of seconds in between those two at the time now. Impressive stuff, I have to say. It's true, Martin. The consistency there of standard FV over those opening 8 laps of this race has been very, very, very difficult to match. Indeed, the Nutella livery here of Mick Anthony. It's sweet, indeed. It's sweet as hell. Here's Gentleman Racing, as mentioned before. He's up into 4th position, and he's chasing down Mick Anthony. And when you're looking at those lap times, he seems to be better off, because the TT, I think, surely must already be suffering on his front tires, and Gentleman Racing eating into it. He's still just around the low 205s, or the low 206s, high 205s, of course, but on a consistent level. However, he and Sauger's still right there in the background, and then it's a healthy gap down to myself and Fast One, with Rinsky also now up into 8th position, having gotten past the entirety of the bottom field by now, and it's he's got some clean space to move on up. Watching here, Fast One is looking like he's really beginning to get closer, but of course both these cars does have good straight line speed. I think my Beamer must be suffering a little bit. Let's go proper full attack there over the chicane. It's Mick Anthony now pitting in. First of anyone, I guess, to pit in this race. And it will, of course, be to get a fresh pair of softs, I would imagine. Could also go for mediums here for the middle stint of the race, to get a little bit more tire life for those fronts. Let's see what he's going for. A little bit of fuel. 61% of the tank is full as he exits the pit in 9th position, just behind the Cold Warriors in the Corvette. But on fresh tires, should be possible for him to get past without too much of a hassle. And in turn, he's right on the bumper of Cold Warriors. And look how he just aims for the run down the next straight. Cold Warriors holding the inside line. What's it gonna be? Late braking move for Mick Anthony. Oh. 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 Just occurred to me that there's some of the controls that doesn't work when it's not a live broadcast or spectating live, but when just watching a replay. So I need to have my my pad a little closer to be able to bring you the Wang Cam, which of course is something that I'd be... I won't be without the Wang Cam. Oh, Gentleman Racing now, and oh yeah, of course, with the pit stop of the Nutella Titty. Oh, that's a dirty one indeed, huh? That leaves the Alpha in third position, and I think on strategy, you could see the Alpha being quite a lot stronger. So Gentleman Racing up in the podium spots. Hirnsag was still close in behind. But TDs have... it's Audis. I mean, they have somewhat expensive interiors, and I guess you don't want to get messy with some Nutella in the cabin of such a car. That's what my dad always told me. Don't eat in the car. Although he never had an Audi. Bless him. I think that's all well and fine, but back to the racing. Let's go back with fast one. Oh, as I get very wide, suffering my own curse. Ethan, what you're what, like 25, right? A big slidey McGee indeed, and then a little bit of dust right in the face of fast one in the Aston. Yeah, well, I applied for it, Martin, and they told me I was better. I'm the new Slidey McGee. Apple will not take lightly to it. Fast one very close here up through the Schumacher S's. And that's me showing him that you will receive no space, and then fast one goes wide. And that, and then gets a poor run as well onto the back straight. And that gives me a good chance to run away. Rinsky in 7th, Mick Anthony in 8th. He's really close now to Rinsky. So titties are moving up. And he's going straight past as well there. Mick Anthony up into 7th position. Rinsky having none of that fighting on worn rubber. Of course, fresh tires for Mick Anthony. Bloody Boy Blue and Standard FV both having done excellent jobs so far of keeping it very steady, keeping it very orderly. That's still running 1 and 2, and then Gentleman Racing having moved up the order from starting 6th. He's now running 3rd with Hirnsauger still behind him in 4th position. And Ethan, we're many pensioners indeed. Feel that way by now. Late 20s. The period of your life where you should be growing up, and yet here I am commentating on races in GT Sport and enjoying the hell out of it. Oh, forever man child. Coffee by my side, of course. Another little holding my coffee up. Last Tuesday it was water. Tonight it's coffee. Keeps you on your toes. Keeps you awake. Anyway, now Gentleman Racing having put that looks like what could be at least that definitive advantage into Hirnsauger in 4th. And then behind me, it's still fast one after his little mishap right around here, actually, on the last lap. He's still there, or thereabouts, around 1.5 seconds down. I've reached that point as well. Oh yeah, and look, Bloody Boy Blue now pitting in, and then it's both Mick Anthony and Rinsky actually also closing in on the front battle here. 23 minutes of racing having passed by now, so we're closing in on those final on the final hour. I was about to say we're closing in on the first half of an hour, the first third of the race being close to pass. There still early in affairs. Bloody Boy Blue rejoining right behind Rinsky in 8th position. I think an advantage that could be for standard FV is that it looks that he would have enough of a gap to not get out behind anyone else, even if he chooses to pit early on. But his lap times are still very consistent, having just slipped up into the 2:06s. And it looks to be something that most other drivers would be happy. They'd say, "I'll take that any day." Guys, I hadn't looked at chat for a minute or so. I look down and I see that. That got a Peggy 18 in a weird way. Quickly, indeed. I don't know how Peggy 18 that is, but it got weird at least. It's okay, guys. I don't mind. Welcome to chat. The place where crazy stuff happens. So here's Herrensager and the Lancer, still doing a strong job. And actually doing a good job of keeping his stint so long. Looking to be running for that two-stop strategy that I also think is the most efficient way to get through a race like this. Of course, the case of some of the front-wheel driven cars, and that's actually only Mick Anthony. Oh, there's a pass happening here? The TT trying to move up the inside and making the move stick. Herrensager now pitting in, just as I mentioned it before. And now it's me down into 5th and Mick Anthony up into, well, what will become 3rd and 4th with Herrensager's pit stop. Let's see where he exits, because he was... Oh, he's lost some time on his pit round, it seems. Although he was, of course, behind also when entering. Oh, it's a late braking moment for me. As I try to follow a car with much fresher tires, and that's often a bad idea indeed. And that's Mick Anthony now running away, and still Fast One putting on the pressure in 5th position in the Aston. Peggy turn 8. Martin, every time I'm gonna hear Peggy 16 or Peggy 18, that's just gonna... Oh, you... Evening, fair Lincoln as well. It's nice to have you along. I hope you've been enjoying your weekend. Everyone else as well. It's the end of the weekend now, sadly here. Listen to how upset Stella is. Fuck. Yeah, that's a healthy bark indeed, Martin. Although still slightly muffled, she's not completely over it yet, I think. But oh, look at Bloody Boy Blue working his way up the ranks. He's gotten past Rinsky already. Now he's putting the pressure on to Fast One. So we're approaching the opening of the pit window for the two-stoppers. Bloody Boy Blue being just around the edge of what should be possible for that. Stays behind Fast One for the time being here. Så, tak Stella. And here's pitting in is both Fast One and I. Fast One and I, we went into the pits. Yeah, it's the half the race dog indeed. Fair thinking. There's I'm gonna tell her to shut the fuck up. See if that helps. Into the pits we go. It's gonna be rejoined towards the back of affairs for the both of us, I think. Stella has a lot of Stella indeed. I think those that know Stella will agree to that. A little bit of damage fixing for both of us as well. And that's me rejoining on the mediums. And Fast One on the softs. So let's see what kind of difference that's gonna make as I just managed to exit in front. That's almost Hamilton and Raikkonen stuff. Those now Fast One on the inside with the tire advantage here. Is he gonna make it count? He is, and he takes 10th position. So that's a strong, competitive pit exit indeed. As I swing and sway around trying to find a way through, and it's just not possible. Fast One takes 10th position and leaves me dead last for the time being. And just going up through, it's of course Cold Warriors in the Corvette in 9th at the moment. It's Infineon in 8th position, running in the McGann in the McGann Trophy, of course. It's Too Fast For You in the funky Citroen. Ian Sauger down in 6th, following his pit stop. In the Lancer, it's Rinsky up into 5th position in the Porsche Cayman. Bloody Boy Blue now up into 4th. Mick Anthony in the Nutella Teddy in 3rd. Gentleman Racing now running 2nd position in the Alfa Romeo, seeming to run a healthy long stint, keeping his pace about him, but untouchable it seems at the front. Still Standard FV, running a pace that still haven't pitted in yet, and he's running a pace that is, well, I guess still faster than what some of the other cars are running on fresh rubber. So that's impressive indeed. Now the funky Citroen entering the pits. The Citroen I'm too fast for you, or I'm too FST for you 55. So is that I'm too fast for yous? I don't know. But he's pitting in. He's gonna be the new last guy, I think. Royal Purple. That is a Royal Purple indeed. Long pit stop here. Small damage repair, but that was no more than just a tap to either end of the car, and he's back. Now with plenty of clean track space in front of him. Now with a little bit of spread, it seems, between most cars. That's a great looking mirror, that's true. Oh, here's a Standard FV pitting in. Timing it to perfection, almost emptying a tank and just making it last a little more than that half an hour. And that's going to be important for him, because in turn it means that on that last stint he's going to be better off with a shorter last stint. He looks to be in a very good position indeed. Gentleman Racing, though, no further behind than he is going to inherit the race lead. Albeit just virtually. And let's see where Standard FV is gonna rejoin. Rinsky also pitting in at this point. Standard FV rejoins in 4th. And rejoins behind Mick Anthony and Bloody Boy Blue. But mind you that both Mick Anthony and Bloody Boy Blue will be on 3-stop strategy for all I know, at least here in the beginning. Ian Sauger 5th. So that's, of course, still advantage Standard FV, although it would look, or it could look, at least like he all of a sudden lost a lot of time on that pit round. But that, I don't think it's the case. And Rinsky rejoins in 8th position. Or what's it gonna be, 9th? Well, that's... it's gonna be close. Once another close call around the pit exit for me, but just managing to squeeze by as well. And that leaves Rinsky in 10th position. And a very warm welcome to... It made it sound so official. That wasn't actually what I intended to do. Of course, a warm welcome to everyone who's watching and everyone who's been... everyone who's just tuned in. And that, in turn, this is what I wanted to say, in turn also goes for VRS Stick, our good friend and organizer over at TSR SimRacing, bringing us some of those great leaks that we in turn bring to you folks. RNG Clan, ja, jeg er dansk. Although I'm not gonna linger too long in Danish because it's gonna alienate, I guess, around 99% of our other viewers here on the channel. But yep, indeed I am. Martin, stop kidding me. Although I will say, I will give you the whole over-winning thing if you ever decide to actually win a race while I'm watching. Rinsky's still trying to catch up to my car in front. He's on the softs, I am on the mediums. It's Fast One up in front on the in the Aston. And he's slowly creeping away. And of course, everyone watching, if you haven't already, and if you like our content, do leave a like on the video. And if you feel like it, feel free to subscribe as well to stay in touch with what we do here on the channel. And Fast One now really catching up to Cold Warriors. I don't know where that came from, but both him and Infineon are now right in front of this, all of a sudden, a big bunch of cars really close to... he's a fast one, ain't he? Well, he's given it away from the first moment. Oh, that's a big extension from both of those, and a big slidey moment for myself and the BMW in behind there. Fast One defends the inside lane from... Cold Warriors, excuse me, defense from Fast One. As the real Slidey McGee, look at that stuff in the background. That was a huge one indeed. Rinsky still seems about status quo between him and I. Oh, as Fast One overcooks it on the way into the hairpin. I think there was a slight bit of contact. That's surely gonna lose him out some time. Both him and Cold Warriors. Oh yeah, that dodgy, crazy idiot in the BMW. And now only is Gentleman Racing pitting in. So he's managed to really stretch that stint, that first stint, 36 minutes. It's a good job, and just as is the case of Standard FV, it might turn out to aid him later in the race. Actually, it's been 2 entire stints of Mick Anthony that's matched a single stint of Gentleman Racing. So it's going to be an interesting one where they rejoin. Let's just have a look with the drivers that are in contention. I think one was entering the pits there. That's Infineon. So that takes him out of this battle for the time being, at least. And I'm Too Fast For You is still in last. I think Infineon is gonna inherit that last place after this pit stop. Oh, he has a healthy bit of damage to that rear end as well. Doesn't look too good for the Renault driver. Let's go back with the Cold Warriors. Oh, Fast One having gotten through now on Cold Warriors. So that's Fast One up into 6th. Cold Warriors now having to defend from me, and then close by as well, it's Rinsky. So I'll be needing a certain bit of impetus in getting by here. Let's see how dodgy the BMW driver turns out to be. On board with this symphony of teal and green. And that's the move, I think, done on the inside of the hairpin. Cold Warriors having to resign, 7th position. Oh, and that's a Fast One getting it all wrong up through the Schumacher S's. And it leaves the door open on the inside. Let's see if I can have a move. Oh yeah, that makes it easy as he goes very wide as well and leaves Cold Warriors through as well. Poor luck for Fast One. And was he a little too fast? Oh no, that's the driver further down. Now it's Rinsky also getting the run. Action-packed moments here. Rinsky now on the outside, on the way to the last chicane. So what's it gonna be? Oh, Rinsky just seeming to hold off ever so slightly. Although there was a good chance of getting a run on Fast One in the Aston Martin right there. A very patient driving indeed from Rinsky. Now up in front, it's still standard FV. And he's just gotten past. He's just flown past, it seems. We might have missed a little bit of action up at the front of affairs. But standard FV leading Bloody Boy Blue now. Hirnsauger running third at the moment in front of Gentleman Racing Mick Anthony. And it's me running 6th position. It's Cold Warriors in 7th with Fast One in 8th. And yeah, Stick, I fixed the brake potentiometer by replacing the entire pedal block of the... because I have the old G27 pedals. But in the end, it actually turns out that it wasn't the pedal block or the potentiometer in itself, or it could have been a problem with it, but that the wiring had been snapped at some point, with all fault of my own, while closing in the pedals after having them sorted and split, and the wire had just been squeezed at some point, I guess you could say, and that cocked up the entire wiring. So I transplanted the wiring with the help of trowels from the G27 pedals over to the G29s, and now they're functioning sweetly again. So that's so far, at least, that's so far so good. Really nice. We're watching Gentleman Racing in 4th position. That big gap down to the position 6, 7, 8, and so further down. Rinsky having gotten past on Cold Warriors as well. So Rinsky now up in 7th, and he's going to be chasing on those softer tires and those relatively fresh softs. Seems to be taking well advantage of the fact that the Cayman is able to be mild on its tires. Yeah, that's true, Martin, but that's in... that I guess in... Well... But that progressiveness, I don't think there's any... In the input itself, I don't think there's necessarily any difference there. I don't feel any difference, at least, in how the input goes on the brake. The big difference between the two is the rubber block they've inserted into the G29. And I think I agree with Verdinken on this one, that after having had a look, that indeed they are very much the same on the inside. And have been since the good old days of G25, as far as I can understand. Though, as a little side story, actually, Dr. Hash the other day told me that the Logitech G27 shifter has some kind of plastic thingy that you can touch somewhere in it that allows it to be made into a sequential shifter. Something that I'm certainly going to be looking into the possibilities of. Now, Fast One getting very close to Cold Warriors. This is the battle for 8th position. Let's go on board with Fast One. He's literally all over the bumper of the car in front. Almost a little touch between the two, but he seems to be clear. That's the inside. That is the shortest way around. Oh, it's not what I wanted to do. Stop doing that. And he's past the touchy gamepad of mine. Oh, Ethan with the expert knowledge there. Well, I guess it's good, but a shame. Cold Warriors entering the pits, very low on fuel, timed that to perfection as well. Just managed to hold up Fast One all the way to the end of his stint. I'm in front still. Hirnsauger, as mentioned, he's the one running in 3rd position, but Gentleman Racing now closing in from behind, it would seem. Mick Anthony is a little bit alone at the time being, and then in 6th position it's still me, and then, oh, that gap down to Rinsky is decreasing, and it's decreasing fast, I think. It was a lot bigger last time out, and Rinsky is on a personal best lap at the moment. So no surprises. Mind you that he's on the soft tires for this stint. I'm on the mediums. So you would expect some kind of pace advantage here. So we might still just have a good amount of battling left here, and I do think so. Bloody Boy Blue entering the pits from second position. And that's just around the 45-minute mark for him. So that's in accordance with what should be a 3-stop strategy at the end. It would be interesting to see how the 3-stoppers compare to the 2-stoppers. And we are, of course, right about now exactly on the half the race gone marker. 45 minutes gone, 45 minutes left of racing here. As Mick Anthony just about put the Nutella TT in front of Bloody Boy Blue's Lexus here, and that's in the battle for 4th position. Out in front, it's Hirnsauger second now. Looking to be very stable and consistent in the Lancer, but Gentleman Racing is closing in from behind. He is on a better pace. And he's closing that gap by around a second per lap, it seems. And Stick, this is something I should have mentioned, of course, earlier in the stream, but this is BOP and no tuning allowed. And actually last year it was run a little differently there. The track wasn't even announced before the night we were running on it, and that was actually making for a good bit of fun. Of course, it did also make for a little bit of some dodgy racing sometimes, because people simply didn't have the time to get to know a track that they were maybe completely unfamiliar with. And I think that was the main reason we're now running with an open calendar. Evening Cliche, nice to have you along, and I hope you have been enjoying your weekend as well so far. Now that it is sadly coming toward an end, here we're watching Gentleman Racing hunt down Hirnsauger, and that quest is going to be over for him now, because Hirnsauger is pitting in for his second pit stop, and Gentleman Racing is pushing on in the 4C. In behind there, it's Bloody Boy Blue with Mick Anthony right on the tail now. And then further down the order, Rinsky, let's see how's that going. Oh, Rinsky also getting quite close to me, and let's see how we do just around Hirnsauger. How will he fare when getting out of the pits? Well, that's interesting, Stick, because one thing that's, even though I'm an avid fan of the Logitech G29, I think it's a great wheel, and it's a great value for money. Mostly that's really the point where it excels. But anyway, my point being that, especially here in GT Sport, the force feedback level of detail in the Logitech GT9 leaves something to be desired. I haven't tried the Fanatec wheels. I don't know if it's any different, but from what you're mentioning, it could very well be. Definitely worth trying out. Look at that now, Rinsky closing in. Let's see if we can keep an eye on both the battles for well, 3rd and 4th position. Now Mick Anthony having fallen off a little here. Might have made some kind of mistake, or the tires could just have hit the cliff and turn. Bloody Boy Blue now leaving him behind. there's a big gap down to Rinsky and myself. And as I mentioned before, Rinsky, he managed to close that gap in a very short moment indeed. And I'm keeping Rinsky on the outside. Let's see. He's gonna have none of that diving in through here. Just gonna see this on the... It might be better to go with the standard camera for some time being, or just for some time. Can of course also change here. Oh yes, okay. Good. But no, but I'm not, Ethan, I wasn't talking about speed. It's more like a question of feel than a question of speed, and like a question of, I guess, immersion, that I'm thinking that anyone would gain time. It's more a question of gaining more enjoyment, I guess. And especially as you progress up through the sim, still myself defending from Rinsky here. So we're gonna leave the gear discussion for a minute or two and come back when there isn't hot action going on. Let's see if I've learned and picked up a thing or two from VRS Dick himself. Because I'm gonna have to defend, and I'm gonna have to defend quite a bit here. Rinsky almost sending it in, he's on the outside. Of course, as mentioned before, Rinsky has the tire advantage here. And right behind us, it's Hirnsauger as well in the Lancer, don't forget. So a three-way scrap now for top 5 placings. 50 minutes gone. As I completely missed the apex there, and it's gonna give me a tough job to defend. Let's see, Rinsky, oh, he's holding off. He's still holding off, and he's not gonna send it. Wang cam time. Back on board with Rinsky, and of course we've also got Hirnsauger in this battle. He's just biding his time at the moment now. Fast One is in the pits. And that's behind all of this, I would imagine. And up in front it's still Bloody Boy Blue in front of Mick Anthony, of course. Let's go back to the battle here, because Rinsky is still all over the tail of my car. He just tries to get the launch here, and I tried to block him off here. Hirnsauger also getting blocked off with some really close stuff indeed. With me and Rinsky side by side. Still now Rinsky trying to get the run down. Is he gonna get it? Yeah, I think that's it. That's Rinsky getting passed up into 5th position, but that took him some time. I did my best trying to defend. And now I'm going to have to defend from Hirnsauger as well, who's gonna be on a charge. Stella, of course, upset that I lost the position on the replay. She, of course, has a full concept of what it means to be racing, what it means to be sim racing, and the importance of such. As you can hear, it deeply touches her. Ethan, I've been thinking about that, and I'm gonna organize some oval racing, at least here on GT Sports soon. Then we're gonna have the chance to hear me doing some NASCAR. It's just gonna be one very long time stretch yell. I'm just gonna sample me saying, side by side. I'm gonna stretch it out for an hour and a half. It's gonna become some artsy project now. Hirnsauger sending it on the inside in the final corner and getting the better of me. So that didn't last long, at least not round 1 of defending, but the grunt of the BMW is not to be underestimated. and it's a return send, I think. Hirnsauger on the outside here, not able to do anything about it, really. He's looking for a cutback opportunity that isn't really there through this section of the track. Rinsky, meanwhile, is of course running away in 5th position as I extend much too much. I apologize, and I shall probably receive a penalty due for that kind of track limits abuse. Oh, look at this now. Gentleman Racing and Bloody Boy Blue very close to one another in the battle for 2nd position. So on board with the Wang Cam from the Lexus. Looking back at the Alpha. He's looking back over his shoulders. And if Gentleman Racing had gone into the rear of Bloody Boy Blue, he would also have been seeing the hurt in the eyes of Gentleman Racing. Lucky it wasn't so. Both cars still running excellently here. Gentleman Racing having had a sterling race so far. He's been on the pace. He's been very consistent as we know him. And he's worked his way up through the order, starting 6th. Now contesting for 2nd position and being strong on strategy. Remember that he's running a 2-stop strategy against the 3-stopper of Bloody Boy Blue. And that inherently leaves Gentleman Racing in a better position here at the time being. Mick Anthony in 4th position now, still in the Nutella Teddy. He's also doing quite well. Also, although as we've also touched upon, I think it will be difficult to keep that same level of consistency over time in a front-wheel driven car, just due to the fact that it will be much heavier on front tire wear. Rinsky in 5th. He did well to get past that BMW of mine, although I've tried to make it wide. I'm still making it wide for Hirnsauger. A lot of battling going on for me here. As everyone else is on the softs, I really had problems with my softs on the first stint because I was too aggressive. Went for mediums on the second one, then went back, and as you'll see when I pit in a not too long time actually, receiving a little off tap there from Hirnsauger, but embracing it all the way and just taking the car wide. Flat on the front, almost taking it too wide there. Hirnsauger having to hold off a little bit. You can see I'm really beginning to struggle with the grip of the front tires. So let's go back with that battle for 2nd position. Bloody Boy Blue having, Gentleman Racing, I think he must have made some kind of mistake here, because he's lost a lot of ground. He was right on the tail of Bloody Boy Blue. He's down by a couple of seconds now. Of course, no threat from behind, so it's no disaster, but it's a little bit of a blow to his chances, at least for now. Oh, and then now it's Hirnsauger with the send. We can't leave my battling here for long. Hirnsauger, is he going to be able to pass? Here he is on the entrance to the final chicane. Good job from the German to make that one stick. He's now up into 6th position. The question is if he can make it last. Now it's me pitting in. Seeing no further reason to stay out, and actually not enough fuel to stay out as well. So that's another good reason to pit in. It's around the same time here as Mick Anthony. Although with an extra stop for him, he would still be within reach. And there's my car reaching that stop point. See, there's a good old Murray Walker quotation there. It was the only Murray Walker quote I could find decals for. So chat, if anyone is up for making a good quality collection of Murray Walker quotations on decals, hey, that'd be nice. That'd be a good So now it's yet again myself right behind Fast One as I rejoin in 8th position. Mick Anthony rejoining in 6th position. That's him right behind Hirnsauger now. So positions going back and forth here with those of the drivers running on the 3-stop strategy. And was it just my own stream? Like my own watching of the stream that died there? I hope it was. Oh, it's still alive. Good. Watching Mick Anthony. And as mentioned, he's 6th behind Hirnsauger, but Hirnsauger running a 2-stopper. So I take it that he has to be quite a bit faster than the German in front. Anything out of it. Hirnsauger now closing in on Rinsky. That's a battle developing for 4th position as well. And as well in front of these two, Bloody Boy Blue and Gentleman Racing are also quite close to one another. Although they were quite a bit closer not that long ago. Actually, Gentleman Racing has been losing out on quite some time here indeed. Gentleman Racing. Deafening silence. I had to turn up and audio check my own stream because I thought the audio had died, Martin. Quit playing games with my heart, goddammit. It's my heart you're playing games with here, Martin, you ruthless man. Man-eater yourselves. I'm too fast for you in that purple Citroen. Spitting in. And same goes for race leader standard FV. And he's choosing to leave it as close to the plan as possible. Managing just to keep the stints around that 30 minutes each. Not overrunning any of his sets of tires. Now fuel coming on. Let's see where's Bloody Boy Blue in this. He is gonna take 1st position. Though I think Standard FV is gonna rejoin in front of Gentleman Racing. Let's see how it's gonna be. Oh no, he's gonna be 3rd. And then right in front of Rinsky. Oh, not even right in front. There's a big gap now. That's right, Stella. That is a big gap indeed. There's a big gap, yeah. Big gap. It's a big gap down to 4th. Now Rinsky pitting in for his final stop as well. And in all this, Hirnsauger is now up into 4th. Mick Anthony 5th. Oh, Martin, well done. You deserve an applause for that one. Stella attack. Trying to get enough is enough. She doesn't know that. She doesn't understand the concept of enough. Fast One. Will he also get past Rinsky as he's in the pits? Well, if Fast One gets past, there's also a good chance that I might also get past. And in turn, if I get past, then it's round 2 with me against Rinsky. And for this time, only both of us are gonna be on soft tires. That's Rinsky rejoining right in front. So that's the strategy working out well for Rinsky, as this is now for both of us is it's a race to the line now. And I take it that goes for Fast One as well in 6th position. Up in 5th, it's Hirnsauger now with Mick Anthony having a little bit of a battle. And it's the TT getting out victoriously from that round at least. Bloody Boy Blue is leading by now, but virtually I'd say it's still Standard FV. Although Gentleman Racing and him are on the same outlines of strategy. Standard FV is 1 stop ahead. So Gentleman Racing having done 1 stop, still needing 1. Bloody Boy Blue having done 2 stops. And we'd expect them still to be needing 1. All the signs are there for what's looking like a 3-stop strategy for the Canadian. Been on a strong pace so far. And now it's battle time again. Round 2. Fight. Let's see if... hopefully it's not going to end up with a KO here between Rinsky and myself. We're on board with that dirty old number 18 BMW. To the braking zone, into the final chicane. Really gaining on Rinsky now. You're onto the Wang cam from the Cayman here. It's a brilliant exit. It's able to use that traction that the rear end provides, and that the engine, the mid-engine layout provides on corner exit. That classic Porsche traction here. Rinsky going early towards the inside. Through the first sector of the track and really close yet again. We're defending well so far, Rinsky here is, and just as I say that, he goes wide. And is that gonna be it? On board, let's look to the side. Well, that's very much side by side on the way to the hairpin. Still side by side on the exit there, and Rinsky gets the superior run. Very much so on the way into the Schumacher S's. Still close indeed. Both Bloody Boy Blue and Gentleman Racing are now pinning in. So for them, it's actually pretty much a run to the line. Bloody Boy Blue exiting now. Gentleman Racing a little bit further down the order. And of course, he was some time behind as they came in as well. They're going to be exiting. Oh, here's Bloody Boy Blue. Gentleman Racing just around Mick Anthony as well. So that leaves Mick Anthony in 3rd position in the TT. Then Gentleman Racing in the Alfa Romeo. Hirnsauger in the Lancer. Then Rinsky and myself closely intertwined in the battle for 6th position at the moment. Down in 8th, it's Fast One. Then in 9th, it's Cold Warriors in front of I'm Too Fast For You and Infineon. And let's hop back up with that battle for 6th. Probably gonna be jumping back and forward a bit. Just about now here, Rinsky defending the inside once more. No real need to do so, seeming to have quite the space. And then yet again closing it really quickly here through the first sector. We've seen this before. And then the Porsche being strong on corner exits. Rinsky, of course, and I think the both of us actually also trying to save our tires the best as possible on those softs. Rinsky making no mistake here through the tight section on the way down towards the hairpin. And it doesn't look like I'm close enough to be able to actually make a move this time around. Nope, certainly not. Though Rinsky gets a little bit of a wide exit, and that might make it possible for me to get a run up towards the Schumacher S's. And here it is. Once again side by side, and once again it's Rinsky just being managed to defend. Just being able to defend, but in turn, no, he cuts me off completely there. Well done, I think I kind of bail out of that move. Further up the order, it's Mick Anthony still running 3rd with Gentleman Racing and Hirnsauger. Just scrubbing off some penalty there on the inside. or whatever that was. Hirnsauger here not too far behind at all. Still very much a factor as well in that battle for third position, and which is in turn actually the battle for second position in the end, because Bloody Boy Blue not that far in front as well, and he could on that three-stopper could just have worn tires come the end of affairs. And still close. I think this time around I get the move done on Rinsky into turn 1. And that is it. With me up into 6th position now. And let's see if I can get some kind of advantage going down to Rinsky. Or if it's going to be payback time from the American. Quickly indeed. Good job so far, I have to say. Oh, there's a bit of contact there, I think. Yeah, that contact gave me a little bit of damage. Oh, freaking out. I'm trying not to, I mean, my controller has a life of its own, as you can see. There's a little bit of aero damage for me. That's, I think, Rinsky. Worse off indeed. Both suspensions at the front have been damaged, as well as... Oh, okay, I'm not gonna touch that anymore, sorry guys. As well as that front aero. And standard FV is absolutely dominating this race. Such a consistent pace, he's just hammering along. Hirnsauger pitting in, that's his final pit stop. That's quite late here with under 20 minutes left of racing. And Rinsky pitting in as well here for the damage repair. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame for Rinsky. And he's needing to come in for those repairs, but you'd understand it. Especially with these... It's funny because aero damage for some of the higher classes is always kind of worse than suspension. And then for these Group 4 cars, suspension damage seems to be far worse as you rely much more on the mechanical grip in turn. It's now myself right in front of Hirnsauger. Of course, Hirnsauger coming right out of the pits now on fresh tires and with a car that's clean and not damaged. So I think I have my work cut out to keep him behind. Let's see if it will be possible to keep the German behind here over the final 18 minutes of racing from the monthly Saturday night 1.5 hour Group 4 race. Of course, it was April's race that we ran yesterday. The next month is May, and come the first Saturday of May, we will be racing yet again. Of course, entries are open. I think the series is close to being full up, even though I think, in turn, I think there might be a couple of spaces actually opening up. So to anyone interested, I will share the GTPlanet thread link right about now in the chat, so you can go and have a look and sign up if you feel like it. It's a good bunch of people with the clean, respectful, and fun racing. It's not like a championship, rather a monthly collection of people that get together and race Bloody Boy Blue with a short splash and dash pit stop here towards the end. That gives evening to Rabbit Gator, by the way, but that gives second place to Gentleman Racing. It's Mick Anthony third. And then Bloody Boy Blue in 4th position. I think Mick Anthony's gonna have his work cut out though, because although it's a little slidey, I think that might be connection things. Oh, that's just Mick Anthony getting right out of the way. Might just be knowing that he doesn't want to get involved in that battle for second, knowing that he doesn't really stand a chance with his tires. You have to be a GTPlanet member, Rapid Gator. I guess in turn, since you have to sign up through the GTPlanet thread, then you have to create an account on GTPlanet and be a member. But aside, I mean, so yeah, but it's not like a membership costs anything, or it's just making a profile and then you're good to go in terms of signing up. Bloody Boy Blue then third, chasing Gentleman Racing. It'll be interesting to see if he will be able to chase him all the way down and take second away from the North American pedal here for second position. Though it's Scandinavia on top with Swede Standard FV leading the race, and he's been leading all the way through. Lights the flag so far, except from a couple of moments coming out of the pit stop where the dynamics of pit rounds left him just around the top spots, but he has of course been leading all the way throughout. Such a strong performance here, Mick Anthony, and that's knowing that he was having to pit in here. That's a good explanation as to why he chose to do so. He is pitting in from fourth, doesn't have fuel to do anymore. Races start late as hell, Martin, and actually it's even worse than that. Races actually start at 2 a.m. in the night because they've got it wrong, because we are in turn actually an hour behind on the British Standard Time. So it's actually 2 o'clock. We start, the lobby goes up at 1 and then race start at 2. It's one for those of us who like coffee, I guess. Mick Anthony now rejoining, still in fourth position. Not too far ahead of both myself and Hirn Saugers, now battling it out for fifth. But in turn, Mick Anthony's going to be in fresh tires, so I think it's going to be a big ask to have any of us. Hirn Sauger, of course, is not on too worn rubber. It's a bit of a different case for myself now. 14 minutes of racing left. Cold Warriors and Fast One as well in for their final pit stops. Let's see how they fare along here. So that's Fast One. He's refueling. He's the first one of the two to leave. He's 8th as he leaves the pit. He's gonna be right around. No, that's actually Standard FV coming around to lap Fast One here. Rinsky still up in 7th after his pit stop. And then still Hirn Sauger on the rear of my BMW. Still hasn't found a way through. While he does have an advantage from pitting somewhat later, you can see the final stop of Hirn Sauger. That was on lap 33. And if you see mine, that final pit stop on lap 27 instead. So a big tire advantage there for Hirn Sauger. We would expect him to see... we expect him to be able to launch some kind of attack. It's of course difficult here with the BMW having the straight line advantage. He can be in the slipstream, but he can't really do much else. And it's hard to get that run up the inside into the braking zones. And that's really all you can do here at the Nürburgring. I think he's going to have a look at least. It's going to be no more than a look into turn 1. Gentleman Racing still holding on to second position. But I think that gap is becoming smaller to Bloody Boy Blue in third now. And the Canadian could just have a real run for it here. He's at least faster around the last lap, so he is gaining. And both of those have a big advantage now down to Mick Anthony in fourth. So I think no doubt that they will be fighting it out for second position. And unless... Standard FV cocks it up all by himself or with an incident with traffic, I'm quite sure he's gonna take the win as well here. Just about 11.5 minutes to go. Hirn Sauger still looking for a way to get through as I go a little wide. That's on the hairpin exit up towards the Schumacher S's. as we're on board with Hirnsauger in the Lancer. Brakes very late there. And he gets a much better run here onto the back straight. Let's see if he's able to gain. He is gaining, but he's not gaining enough to be able to make a move into the chicane, that's for sure. Yet again, just making his presence felt, showing himself. Oh, and that's also me by far overshooting the exit. With the grip now really beginning to go, I think, on those softs. Here for the final bit of the final stint, last 10 minutes of the race. It's gonna be a war of survival, pretty much, between Hirnsauger and myself for 5th position. It's gonna be the same between Gentleman Racing and Bloody Boy Blue, because the Canadian is now getting very close to the rear end of the American in front. And interestingly, it's Bloody Boy Blue on a 3-stop strategy in the Lexus. It's Gentleman Racing on a 2-stopper in the Alfa Romeo, and see what kind of what comes out on top. It's gonna be interesting. Although, of course, the Lexus has the advantage that down these long straights on this track, it has a definite advantage in top speed, straight line grunt, and that makes it easier for Bloody Boy Blue to launch some kind of attack that it would be for Gentleman Racing to do the opposite. Still a little too far back. Same goes for Hirnsauger as we make our way up through the Schumacher S's. Fast one there running P8, still not having gotten clear of standard FV. Rinsky is also on his own in 7th in front here. It's Cold Warriors down in 9th. Also with a good gap down to I'm Too Fast For You. And then I think there's not too far between the two bottom runners at the moment with I Am Too Fast For You. And I think we saw the shadow at least of Infineon a moment ago. There he is. So Bloody Boy Blue still not quite close enough to be able to put that maximum pressure onto Gentleman Racing, who's still doing a good job of keeping a hold of 2nd position. And you see he's just had those fast couple of laps exiting the pits on fresh tires after that lap 34 pit stop for Bloody Boy Blue. But that last lap, well, he might have made some kind of mistake, or the tire wear is already kicking in. Either or, last lap was a 2:07, so he didn't gain there. And now he's trying to bring himself right back up on the tail. Still status quo here in the battle for 5th position as well. Let's go back up with these two in the battle for 2nd. It's even closer. Wang cam time here from the Alfa Romeo. Gentleman Racing seems to be cool, calm, and collected. He's really seeming to flinch. Now we're on board with Bloody Boy Blue in 3rd position. And he will, of course, just be looking to get that exit on the Alfa Romeo, but the Alfa Romeo being so strong on handling, so strong on especially corner exits, that you see he's getting the run on him, but it's just not long enough to straight. Now he's on the outside, and that's not the place to be. No luck for Bloody Boy Blue this time around. He's gonna keep on searching for a way past. Doesn't seem to be finding it right now, at least here through the first sector. Of course, also a very difficult place to overtake in the first place. As I hear there's a dog making noises in the other room. Oh, there she is. Oh. Noises that sounded sounded a lot like a dog, like chewing on a piece of linen, piece of bed linen. That's exactly what it was. So the savior of bed linen, yet again, bed linen, not dead. And still I was disappointed. Anyway, still Gentleman Racing ahead in the battle for second. Bloody Boy Blue not really being able to get quite close enough. And further down the order, it's Hirnsauger here, who's lost a bit of time in that battle for fifth as well. It seems to be the same kind of status quo for him. 5 minutes to go now. Still appreciate for a moment the performance from Standard FV. Has been absolutely flawless here today. Brilliant stuff from him. Bloody Boy Blue. Oh, now he's gotten past Gentleman Racing. And that must have happened on the way into the final chicane. I almost want to play it back, but I'm not going to. But Gentleman Racing looks to be determined to give it his all. And he's putting on the pressure now. Oh, it's Bloody Boy Blue going wide through the first sector, and that's Gentleman Racing right back up into second position. So this by no means over yet. Still a lot of fighting. Side by side there, Gentleman Racing with a brilliant display of how to pick the defensive line. Oh, was that a little bit of contact though? It's to get the Alpha in front. But he did manage to get the Alpha in front. And let's see if he can make it stay there. We're inside the last couple of laps by now. You can just see that top speed difference. Yet again, he's out on the outside. He gets closed out. Gentleman Racing intelligent there. Places the car correctly. Nails apexes in the right way, doesn't open up space, doesn't get a bad exit. That compromises himself because you can see that it has so much grunt, that Lexus, compared to him. It's not like the Lexus is the fastest car of the Group 4 class, of course, but it is indeed faster than the Alfa Romeo. Now we're on board with Bloody Boy Blue. Yet again gets left on the outside. Coming into the final corner, he's gonna try for the cutback. Gentleman Racing goes for the defensive line early on. And then upswing back out left to pick up the racing line. And that might just open up the door, but it doesn't. Too far back, Bloody Boy Blue. Too far back he is. I think these drivers are going to be doing 2 more laps for those further down the orders, looking to be right on the way to the final lap with Hirnsauger all over the back bumper of my BMW. And the tires are really suffering yet again, missing the apex through the final corner. Not the first time that I've managed to do so. Just keeping it under control anyways. And that's a little bit of a gap now, I think, for Gentleman Racing. Could that be the decider? So close to the line. I think if Gentleman Racing doesn't make any mistakes now, it's Bloody Boy Blue. I don't think he's in the slipstream, or not necessarily, not at least in the schlong. He's not in the schlong. No, that would be weird if he was, but he's not in the strong slipstream. But he's, I'm not sure he's close enough to actually have another attempt. Let's see, They're now catching up to Infineon, so that piece of traffic might be all important. On their way down towards the Thong. I actually listened to the Thong song today. That was a nice bit of nostalgia. It's funny as you grow older, something that didn't seem like it had a lot of quality when you was younger, all of a sudden comes through with a bit of. It has the Thong song by Cisco has more longevity than I would necessarily have expected it to. So it seems Gentleman Racing is gonna be victorious in the battle for second position. They're going out on the last lap now. And this is the final lap for myself and Hirnsauger as I go wide. And that's on the kink exit. On the back straight exit down towards the kink. Hirnsauger, is he gonna have an attempt around the outside? He is. But he's not gonna be able to make it past out through there. And I think both Hirnsauger and I are not really sure where each other were in those situations, giving much more space than necessary. Thanks for the battle, Hirnsauger. I have a penalty to get rid of. Hirnsauger says, so do I, but he has a little bit less, I think. And that's gonna be Hirnsauger taking 5th in the end, so all that battling for nothing. Mick Anthony, of course, home in the sweet-ass Nutella titty. The Nutella TT, coming home for 4th position. And Rinsky's gonna come home for 7th. It's gonna be right about now as he crosses the line. Then it's gonna be Fast One, 8th, of course, at the front of affairs, right behind Fast One. It's Standard FV, the Swede, proving that Scandinavians are indeed swift. GG Standard FV, such a performance. It's been lights to flag, and it's certainly made it look easy, like some kind of Hakkinen. Strong performance. Standard FE taking the victory from the April race of the GTPlanet monthly Saturday night 1.5 hour endurance. It is going to be Gentleman Racing, barring any last moment mistakes from the American, and I don't think there's going to be any. He's going to be holding on to second. Strong race here tonight from Gentleman Racing as well. That has to be said. And then Bloody Boy Blue home for 3rd position, and Infineon crosses the line just behind in 11th. So, yet another month of racing gone by. Of course, it's always something special with these monthly events. A nice catching up to people that you don't necessarily race with all the time. I really like this community. Of course, a thank you got to go to Rinsky for putting all the time in to organize this series. It's always a pleasure taking part in. So thank you goes for me personally. Of course, as well, thanks to everyone who's tuned in for our broadcast here tonight. On my part, the race could have been a little better without that early incident and that rear damage that followed. I simply thought that Stiller wasn't losing more than 1.5 seconds a lap, and then I counted out that there were like 12 laps left, so it wouldn't be worth having an extra pit stop for it. Just carried on, and in the end I guess it was okay. It could have been 5th if I hadn't gotten some penalty on one of the times. I ran way too wide on the exit of that stadium section, as it's called actually. So of course, here on Half the Race Gone, we will be back on Tuesday with the second round of the TSR Super Formula Series. We had a blast of a race with the crazy mad Greek, that's Crazy John, taking victory in the opening round in front of Martin, who's in chat, Martin Pfeiffersen, and Joe of the Fire, who got 3rd. We're looking forward to round 2. We're going to visit Autopolis, and that's going to be on Tuesday. So, of course, hoping to see all of you, if possible, for that race broadcast there on Tuesday night. And, of course, if you liked the video here, do leave a like and subscribe if you feel that we are worthy of your subscription. Because that's what channel growth is, and even if you don't feel like it's super important to you, and if you try to be a hipster to say, it's not important to us, well, when you have a YouTube channel, it is sort of important in the end, isn't it? And it's a stamp of approval nonetheless. And anyway, with that said, I think all that remains for me to say is that, yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, of course, I am DirtenDK. You've been watching Half the Race Gone, and yeah, until next time, take care, have fun, and bye-bye.